and welcome to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Today we're going to be taking a look at opposition politics. There seems to be some movement there. They've got themselves a new name. They're not going to be called UPA, but India. It's a catchy name. It's going to be a difficult name for the NDA to counter. They can't say we are against India, but they are finding ways. Already people are saying, look, India has NDA right in the middle. And without NDA, India is all about I and the eco. So these kind of catchy, gimmicky sloganeering is all doing the rounds. It is now election eve, almost general elections due next year. So we are going to see a lot more fun, a lot more happening. But apart from the name, has the opposition got itself anything else? There seems to be at least the show of unity. We saw 26 opposition leaders gathering there together on one table. The Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party have decided to bury their differences and vote on the same controversial amendment against the Delhi government during the monsoon session of Parliament. So activity is happening in the right direction. How far will it go and what is the NDA doing to counter it? That's what we're going to discuss on the panel today. Joining me is Rashid Kidwai. He's a political commentator, author of 24 Akbar Road and a columnist. Dilip Cherian, he's an image guru and also a political commentator. And PKD Nambiar, political commentator, author and also a branding expert. Rashid, we saw what happened in Bangalore. The numbers doubled from the last opposition meeting. So there seems to be a positive move. But first, what do you understand by this name India? Do you think it's a good name or a bad name?
I think it is a good name because remember, people are not going to vote for India. People will be voting for the Congress, TMC, DMK, etc. in the parliamentary election. It's a catchy thing because in the southern part of India as well as in the east or eastern part of India, people prefer, so to say, India as a name of the country. And of course, very cleverly, I would say as an afterthought, Mr. Dilip Cherian would know better. They've also added this tagline that Bharat Jeetega. So the India and Bharat, that both have been incorporated. So the BJP is going to be deprived of this thing, narrative, India versus, kind of Bharat kind of thing. The fact that they, came together, fact that the 26 parties were there, fact that there was a tie-up, some kind of tacit understanding with Aam Aadmi Party, and biggest thing, Priya, according to me, a sense of, nervousness and urgency in the the rival camp, that being NDA. The NDA had no kind of that kind of scheduled one. They got on the 18th of July, they got 38 political parties. Imagine, here was Mr. Prime Minister Modi inside Parliament, outside Parliament. Ek Modi sab pe bhari hai. Modi hai to mumkin hai. And now you have 37 political parties. 24 of them do not have representation in the Lok Sabha or in Parliament. But I'm just saying, so they are trying to, match. And if you actually, get your, rival take a notice or get agitated. I even, heard very attentively a speech by Mr. Narendra Modi. Even the picture of humility, very different. Even the joke going around, you may have also seen on social media, that Chirag Paswan is the first Indian politician to be hugged by the Prime Minister. I think it's an uncharitable one, and of course it's absolutely wrong. But it's this kind of things are there. So this kind of concessions, this kind of thing, it sets a very fascinating battle for 24. Whosoever wins, but I think all marks to the opposition to kind of get their act together. Part one and part two to set kind of a cat among the pigeons in the rival camp. Both given the kind of atmosphere that we live in, a big achievement.
Thank you. Dilip, you are into political brands and branding. This India versus Bharat, how do you see it? And secondly, this hunt is on for the allies. Both the Congress and the BJP have realized that going it alone nahi chalega. It's the era of coalition is coming back.
The way I look at brands, there are 4 eyes when you do any branding exercise. And I would assign about 20% to its impact, 30% to the stated intent, 30% to the integrity of the components of the brand, and 20% to what I call interplay. So these are the 4 eyes. If you take these 4 eyes and look at brand India, first of all, remember that it is a mnemonic. And mnemonics are a new generation thing. They love all this. So that's one advantage, and its impact because of the surprise factor and the interplay with Bharat Jeetega, the bilinguality of it is tremendously advantage. But I have problems with both stated intent and the ability of the brand's components to hang together. The reason I have anxiety about it is because I think that as political analysts and as media and even as news consumers, people tend to ascribe huge importance to tiny shifts. Oh, they didn't back them on this. Oh, so-and-so didn't turn up for lunch. Doesn't matter. As long as brand integrity involves everybody broadly moving in the same direction, the customer, i.e. the consumer, i.e. the voter, is quite able to see what the brand stands for. So I think it's a good move, well timed, and the interplay advantage is something that they will have to work to make sure that these four eyes work for brand India.
So, PKD, your first take on this branding of India, and just in terms of labels, the Prime Minister is very good at coining phrases and these acronyms like that. The UPA seems to have beaten him at this game, or not?
Definitely no. In fact, it is basically a misfire. In a way, they were just thinking that they are scoring a point with Narendra Modi, because as you said that he is very well good with this some of these words coming up with Startup India. Secondly, that India do not belongs to an opposition party or any party. It belongs to Rashid Bhai, it belongs to Priya Sahgal, Dilip ji, and me, and everybody. So you cannot take away the Indianness from any individual. And Dilip ji was just talking about that. Oh yes, there is a consumer, and who is the consumer? Is consumer in this case is an Indian voter. Now, an Indian voter is not hearing the word India not for the first time, and he has got his own perception about India. The moment he thinks about India, there is an Indian map comes in his mind, or the people of India comes in his mind, not as an opposition leader or an opposition party. Secondly, it is not India as the way you and me are projecting. That itself is a wrong branding image, because India, it is I-N-. So that's not, this is not India, but you and me is already projecting it as an India. Itself backfire as technically as a brand. So I would say it is more of, and I also know that many of these people like Nitish Kumar and etc. will not be even able to digest and go and tell this to the people. Though India jeetega, Bharat jeetega, and etc. And these are all being used by multiple times by the sports brands or the cricketing giants like etc. etc. Team India is already existed even in Bihar or in anywhere else, because when we say Team India, it's already there is a cricket, which is even bigger than politics at times in Indian context. So, and then Bharat jeetega, which is a very normal statement. And Bharat ke andar hi Bharat ka Pradhan Mantri sabse pehle aata hai. Bharat ke Rashtrapati sabse pehle aata hai. So, I think it is a collection of few alphabets and try to coin a word called as India, which is definitely not going to be an advantageous thing for them to get votes. And the most important thing, this is from the branding point of view. Now coming to the political point of view. Now, I think Rashid Bhai was just talking about 24 parties in the NDA. He is not even having any representation in the parliament. So as in the case of this so-called coalition, I mean, and out of which 6 parties are already from Kerala, like Kerala Congress, Muslim League, and etc. So I think they do not have any much. These are जैसे कहते हैं ना कि अगर तुम 26 ले आओगे तो मैं 38 ले आऊंगा, तुम अगर कर दोगे तो मैं 40 कर दूंगा.
Well, Kerala is weighing heavily even on the panel today.
Imagine in the last 2019 election, people have not voted for any of the BJP MPs. 60% of them voted for one leader, that is called as Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and many MPs have told, yaar, hame to Modi ji ki wajah se hum 5 साल का वो मिल गया. So I think this time around too.
क्यों जरूरत पड़ी? If he's like the point Rashid made. Yeah, Rashid, you make the point.
So that is my argument. I am glad my friend PKD Nambiar, he initially when he started speaking, I thought he's a politician. The way he said about India belongs to everyone. If India belongs to everyone, the word India, then how is it that it's an Indian National Congress? How is that even Trinamool is calling all India this thing? AITMK, all India, Bharatiya Janata Party. What is this Bharatiyaness? And you can always argue the kind of thing you're, holding this, I mean, UPA's newer version, India as being, why, how can they claim themselves to be? I believe somebody has filed a, silly FIR also. But this holds no this thing, because we are a democracy. We can all, many political parties call themselves as, even this is Indian Union Muslim League. So you see, they all own. Of course, India doesn't belong to anyone, and at the same time, India belongs to everyone. And the fact that, you see, Priya, I'm just wondering, again, it's actually what Mr. Nambiar is saying is strengthening our argument that what was the need for Mr. Modi to press this panic buttons if he is so, sufficient. And of course, he was capable. I can tell you a number of MLAs, MPs, the way Mr. Nambiar is suggesting, that who won just because there was a kind of Modi wave in Rajasthan, in Madhya Pradesh, in Chhattisgarh, several states where 6 months before, Congress had won. So this explains why is it so? Is it because of the kind of alliance that is there in Maharashtra as of now, the alliance in Bihar, and the kind of victory in Karnataka? It is something that is they're feeling. And the number game, again, you can mock the, you see, because the the NDA has over 340 or whatever numbers they have at present. And still they had to get 24 political parties which have no representation in parliament. The opposition was routed in 2019. There's no two views about it. Look at the Congress, as you know, what the famous that Urdu couplet goes na, ke छोड़ दिया करते थे हम पैमाने में वो जितने वो अकेली मैसर मैखाने में, in that kind of thing. The Congress never got less than, even Kesari's time they got 114, 112, 140 kind of seats, 134. So this is what it is. So the BJP already has plenty. Why? What is the need to bring all those people, a student union from Jharkhand as an ally?
Exactly, Dilip, that's the thing, of course, the opposition is pressing the panic button, but then why is the NDA and the BJP reacting the way it is and offering cabinet berths, luring leaders from the, we are told they're talking to people like Jayant Chaudhary, they've already broken the NCP, they are luring other opposition leaders also, either through the ED or through various promises. Is the BJP panicking?
When you have two leaders and half a dozen agencies whose entire job is to be in politics 24/7, then there's a lot of action that it must generate. Does it signify anything electorally? I think I will go by what Rashid Bhai's question is, that response is sometimes indicative of impact. That's one. But there is no getting away from the fact of what PKD said, that there is a bigger brand at the moment than I.N.D. whatever, okay? The brand is Modi. There are no dots in between. So there is no doubt that that brand, it will be that brand of Modi versus the brand I.N.D. okay? So that's the problem. So you have two leaders who are 24/7 involved in Maharashtra, then they'll go to Telangana, then there's an action going on in Tamil Nadu, where will he stand from? Will he stand from two conferences? All of this is because this is the full-time activity. And that signifies that there will be political action, which is not necessarily only for end results. It's also because that is their way of being.
Because somewhere you would, the point that both Rashid and I are making, that where is the need for allies if, you're so self-sufficient and so self-strong, and there is brand Modi, which is bigger than any other brand, any other collection of brands, then why this, hunt for allies?
I will tell you this very simple, Priyaji. This is basically one, you say that, oh, BJP is an untouchable party. Now you are saying
not anymore, not after Vajpayee.
Not only, I'm not talking about you. I'm just
generally. I'm talking about the people, public allies.
So some people say that it is an untouchable party because it's a Hindutva party and so forth. So here is the 38 other political parties are vouching and trying to be with you or with you. Yesterday, I had an opportunity to meet one of the very star politician from South to have a breakfast with him. He came for an NDA meet. They are all very bullish. They say that, yes, we have our own captive audience. Along with, we also wanted to ride on the popularity of Narendra Modi. And he's been doing something great for the party, even though ideologically they don't connect with BJP. So the whole objective of right now is that you look at the opposition parties right now, because why I am not talking about NDA too much or Narendra Modi, we know that he is the natural leader as of now. No matter you say that, oh, Modi will not come or whatever it may be, his popularity not only in India or across the world is at its peak even today. Every survey says that his popularity has not even diminished 1 point, but rather it has gone up. So one is that let's keep it there. Now look at the irony on the other side. Sharad Pawar, he not been able to hold on his own party. Uddhav Thackeray, he's not been able to his own party, hold on to his own party. A lot of losers are coming together because they realize that there is no way that they will be able to sustain or run their family politics. For them, it is politics is within their family. It's all like that's a family property. So they will not be able to do it. And there is only one way, that when one of my uncle was just receiving Arvind Kejriwal, just imagine Arvind Kejriwal as a political phenomenon came in, anti-Congress move from the people with whom he was sitting is Sharad Pawar. The people of Delhi are they fools? Sharad Pawar, Lalu Prasad Yadav, Nitish Kumar, and the people, all those people who had gone, whom he went against and started his political career, just 8 years later, he is sitting with them. So don't you think that the people of any of, I mean, at least in my generation or my younger generation, will understand this political hypocrisy? There is no ideological, there is no vision. So just tell me, the opposition parties, do they have a 10-point agenda for the country? At least as of now, no. Just imagine that how many congressmen and how many CPM members, forget about the BJP for a minute, that in the last 3 months have been killed in West Bengal by the TMC. But they are sitting together and having a cup of tea. What is the kind of messaging these opposition parties are?
That is a point that I think is a good point that they will also have to deal with. Rashid, I'm going to come to you, but after a very quick break, then I'm going to come back to Rashid. And also the issues that PKD has reached. This is just the wrapping, the names. What is going to happen inside the package is really the way they're going to work out the coalition, the seat sharing, the ego wars. That's something that is going to be the next challenge after a quick break. Hello and welcome back to the NewsX Sunday Guardian Roundtable. Today we're taking a look at the opposition politics, at the state of India as it is. Rashid, you wanted to come into what PKD said, and I'd also raised some issues which you can answer.
I find it fascinating that the way, this kind of political hypocrisy and a kind of immorality is being put at the, opposition's doorstep. Mr. Modi and the NDA is the biggest bundle of contradictions. While I can justify it in real politics sense, but you cannot be attaching any sense of values or sense of purpose with it. What was Mr. Modi saying just a week before that drama in Maharashtra unfolded? He was at Bhopal speaking about corruption in opposition and named Ajit Pawar, named 70,000 crore irrigation scam, etc. and all. And what do we see? Ye kaun si washing machine hai? And you are talking about family, dynasty. What is Ajit Pawar's claim to fame? Because he was Sharad Pawar's nephew.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, and of course, the violence in democracy is reprehensible and unacceptable. It should be not only condemned, it should be, I don't mind if, Mr. Modi musters up a courage to, impose president's rule in Bengal, because the violence has no justification. But what is he doing about Manipur? I want to know. Why is that Manipur not being brought under, president's rule or governor rule? Why is that, there is so much of, inaction? I mean, again, I don't want to compare, but the political, violence in Bengal and the kind of violence we are seeing in Manipur, it cannot be compared. And here is a prime minister, a single majority prime minister. His own government is there in Manipur, and, he's not saying anything. I don't mind, he's not saying anything. I want him to act decisively. So these are the, big questions are there. And you look at the number of, I've been yesterday, I was just like Mr. Nambiar was meeting someone. I was also meeting, and that person was saying a lot about, the BJP and Mr. Modi's achievements. And when I asked that, you see, where is, Vijay Malaya? Where is this Mohil Chokse? Where is Meera? Modi. Where is action against Mr. Robert Vadra that Prime Minister had promised? I remember he was speaking in Pune in 2014. हम इनकी नींद चुरा लेंगे. किसकी नींद चुराएगी? सब आराम से सो रहे हैं. So
Yeah,
I'm
BJP में जाके सो रहे हैं.
of the day, where is, see, what is this thing about that? I don't want to talk about the political side of it, 50 lakh, etc. and all, because I think that was rhetorical, etc. But the substantive issue, have we eradicated corruption or have we, kind of perpetuating it? And I'm not speaking from a political position. I'm just saying generally, he should, if Mr. Robert Vadra had done wrong during the UPA years, he should have been brought to books. You cannot be blaming law for it. Because whenever there is a, what did they do? They do the minimum thing, what they were doing with Nawab Malik and other cases are registered, people are booked and trial. And if they switch sides, then there is a washing machine culture. But I don't expect, person of Mr. P.K. Nambiar's intellect to be endorsing it. That is my submission.
PKD, I will allow you to counter that when you speak. But Dilip, what both PKD and Rashid have brought out is the political compulsions, or that both sides are making, doing business with people they have opposed, of principles that they have opposed earlier. This brings me to the larger question: are we now heading towards an era of coalition back again? That single party rule that the Modi government has enjoyed for about a decade now. It seems to be, there seems to be either fatigue or anti-incumbency. Where do you see it heading, or he's just playing it safe?
What I'm worried about, Priya, is that as I heard citizen Kidwai speak, I'm worried about our voter. Is the voter willing to accept these compromises in the context of what Rashid said about the speech in Bhopal and what PKD said about his uncle receiving Arvind Kejriwal? The fact is that, is the voter who's watching this willing to allow their leaders to continue to behave in one manner and put out rhetoric in another manner? That is the big question. And really what we should be addressing is the citizen of India now either confused or callous? Does she not care, or does she not know? And that is what we need to figure out. Because if she as a citizen is voting in the way that she does, then she is callous. And that means a lot of things for democracy and the future. Forget the parties. Parties will also then learn, as regional parties, that to survive, you can spew rhetoric of one thing and act in a different way. That is really the democratic inflection point that we have come to some time ago.
Good point. PKD, the voter, both what you and Rashid have pointed out are valid. So I think voter does know the compromises that each opposition party or the government is making to woo new allies. What does it say about our political messaging in general later? And are both sides panicking? I come back to that first question.
So there is definitely a panic, because every 5 years later, there is a panic for everybody. The government feels that I have done the best, but then is that the real perception going down, or is it? But then one thing I feel that generally, if there is an anti-incumbency or an anger against a government, you will see a lot of public movement. You remember that during the UPA 2 time, what was happening across the country. I have not been able to see a single movement, even for the left parties put together, like even in Kerala, like mine and Dilipji's state, that wherein generally there is easy for them to get the people on the street and go against Narendra Modi, Murdabad and all those stuff. You can't see that across the country you travel, you will not be able to find a single people movement. Whether it is politically driven, whether it is, the people will say that there is huge inflation. That imagine, except the tomato, the wholesale price inflation and the consumer price inflation is at the lowest right now. So I think the problem is that the consumers, the news consumers who are sitting in Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, and this they hardly vote. 50% is the vote, the people vote. The rest of the 50% don't even vote. So who is the real target audience for all these political parties will be the rural, wherein they vote up to 80-85%, in which there are some places even up to 90%, maybe in West Bengal or in Kerala or in some of these places. So I think the political market is open now. People will go here and there. If you find the Nitish Kumar do not have any more, he may be a chief minister only with one lone MLA, that is himself, and the rest of the people are moving away, you should not be surprised. So I think the political market is open. Now, who will perform better? Definitely there is a huge brand advantage, huge performance advantage. See, you'll have to understand that in a market, there are two people are contesting each other. Narendra Modi has got a list of his 10 years achievement, whether it could be Ayodhya, whether it could be Sri Ram Temple or Article 370 or Muttalaq or whatever it may be. He will be saying that I have made 5 crore houses. So the 5 crore houses mean these 5 crore people or the 5 crore families are with him. Or in the same way that I have touched upon, I had given you free vaccination. So he has got a plethora of things which he can say that I have performed, I have lived for you, 18 hours I have worked for you, I have never taken a single day leave and etc. On the other side, the offer is coming from Nitish Kumar or anything that only one messaging, हमारा constitution under threat है, हमारे democracy under threat है, और कोई विषय नहीं, और मोदी बहुत ही गंदा बंदा. ये 3 statement के अलावा fourth कोई सा dialogue भी नहीं है. So without an opposition leader as good as Narendra Modi, which I am not able to see or maybe have not taken birth as of now, I believe that there is going to be a one-sided election wherein, but there will be anti-incumbency at the regional level and also the micro level of every constituency.
Okay. Got it.
Out of 30, maybe you may not get 303, so you may require some of these partners to come and join.
But the NDA is coming back.
Hype.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm cutting you short because I'm totally out of time. But just a final picture, Rashid, on this. Modi still stands the tallest. I agree with PKD on that one. You know, whatever numbers he gets, he is the tallest leader. Opposition needs a catchy narrative to match the BJP's narrative. That is also a task ahead of it. And of course, the contradictions. You know, aside from this, is there anything else that you would like to add?
Yeah, I think Priya, what Mr. Nabiar said is absolutely right, but only his conclusion part that I have a slight disagreement. You just picture back to 2004. Mr. Vajpayee was still a very popular figure. He was a head above shoulder, and he was, of course, there was no one in sight. There was a Vajpayee versus question mark. And it's not that Vajpayee lost decisively, it's just a number game. And that is where I say that Bihar and Maharashtra are very crucial, because the BJP NDA had won with a huge margins in terms of numbers of seats of Lok Sabha. And from these 2 states, and the kind of alliance politics stays, and in several other states, the BJP has a chance to fall to 220 or so, and in 220 figure, while I agree, Mr. Modi may be able to stitch a position, but running it will be a nightmare, and temperamentally both he and Amit Shah are not suited. They are not in Vajpayee mode, so we are going to see very interesting times. And that is where the opportunity comes at opposition doorstep. If opposition is also as a 200 plus, then there are this block of 6 political parties that we did not talk about. It will be their call, which way would they go, and that's where Nitish Kumar and all would come very handy, Sharad Pawar, etc. Whether they are able to get their support of the 6 political parties that are maintaining, so to say, equidistance from this India and NDA. That's the long and short of it.
That is, of course, Jagan, Naveen Patnaik, KCR, etc. So, PKD, quickly, if you want to come with a very short answer, because I'm very out of time.
One thing which we are all missing, we are all talking about only the political parties. Let's talk about the real consumer, as Dilipji said, that is the voter. And what is the voter, this thing? 30% of our overall total population, the voters would be these youngsters. They are not ideologically connected to anyone. What they see every day and what they feel, what they enjoy and consume is what their perception about politics and about the country.
Okay.
And
so who can woo the, but I think ideology is really out of time,
otherwise
I'll have to cut. Ideology is something I think we can safely put in the back burner. The way people are changing sides and, making, it's just numbers and vote winners and branding, as Dilip is agreeing with me on that one. That is going to work. So on that note, thank you all for this conversation, and we'll soon have you back again because elections are now coming. So lots more such conversations are on the anvil. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.